Welcome to the Finding the Magic podcast, where books come alive. I'm Tricia Copeland, a fiction author and host of this show. If you love books, finding great reads, and hearing about the story behind the story directly from the authors, this is the place for you. Whether you like fantasy, science fiction, dystopian, or romance titles, I think you'll find something to love in my playlist. Listen in to discover something magical about a book or two today. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. I'm glad to be able to be on this side of the interview with you.
Me too. Today we have Diane Burkhardt. She is coming to us from Germany, so thank you very much for joining us. I have been on Diane's podcast, and remind me the name of your podcast because I'm going to get it wrong.
Book Banter with Diane Burkhardt. I like to keep things easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm super excited to learn all about your books. Thriller author, memoir writer. I saw some Westerns on your website too. So I have questions. Let's start with the thrillers. I think you have one coming out soon, right?
I have the first books that I want to come out was going to be the paranormal romance, and then my medical memoir, and then the thriller. The thriller I've actually been writing on longer, but I decided I wanted to try and get things out that might actually make some money right away. So I was going with the paranormal idea first, and then we'll do the FBI thriller later.
Okay, fine. Well, yes, I love paranormal romance. So jump in and tell me about that.
This one, it's actually very different from anything else that you have ever heard of because when I was in college, I did a lot of ghost hunting adventures with my friends. We actually traveled around Kansas and Colorado and checked out all of these different haunted places. And I'm using those investigations as the basis for my paranormal romance series.
Oh, fun. What is the name of the series?
It's The Haunted Hearts. And each one, right now I have 7 books figured out. And the first one is based off of the Eldridge Hotel in Lawrence, Kansas, which is famously haunted.
Ooh, well, if you come back to the States, can we do a tour together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That place, we actually had some really interesting things happen there. And that's why I chose that one to be the first one to base one of the paranormal romances on.
Fun. Okay, what are the characters? What were the interesting things? Set me up.
Okay, well, this is something really funny. I do have to refer to my notes to tell you the character names because one of the little side effects of my brain damage is I'm really horrible at remembering names. And even for the characters that I create, I can never remember their names.
Ah, okay. Nope.
So I always have to
Notes
look.
are good.
It's like, so the 2 main characters are Dr. Samantha Voss and Clayton Barnes. And Clayton is an ex-Navy medic who is an absolute true believer. He's had so many experiences where, unexplainable things have happened to him and his buddies. And when they all retire from the Navy, they all decide to kind of like stick together and they move to the same town in Colorado and start doing all of their own ghost hunting shows, just live streaming on their social media. But a production company sees it and wants to put them on a real streaming service. And the first season goes horrible because the guys who do this production house are just doing it as a tax write-off, so they don't want them to do well.
Aw.
So they're always doing all these things to kind of sabotage the shows so that they lose money in this process. And the producer that they hired to oversee the show doesn't want it to tank, so she decides she's going to go against the guys that are her money makers and she's going to do things to make the show become a hit. And she brings in Samantha Voss, who is a physicist who specializes in I can never say this right, electromagnetic field phenomena. And she's going to be like the conflict in the show. And of course, she and Clayton Barnes, he's a true believer. She thinks it's, all bunk, and they clash. But when things start happening that even she can't explain on the investigation, they start to bond over it.
Oh, fun. So enemies to lovers a little bit
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
And how spicy are these?
These are actually going to be closed door romances because I really want to. A lot of my followers that I already have from my Western series that I did, that one was actually classified by several places as Christian fiction. I didn't write it that way, but people classified it that way and they read it because of that classification. So I decided to do closed door romances to kind of draw in that same crowd.
Oh, okay. Nice. And my light is being super weird now. I'm gonna like, okay, gonna turn that off. And I don't know why it's doing this, but here, we'll do this a little bit. Yeah, that makes it worse. Okay. I can cut that part out. Is it better or not? I don't know. There we go. I'll just do it this way. I look like I'm sitting in the dark, but that's okay. Well, yeah, so you had a Western previously. So do you have some of these paranormal books out already? Are they already published or
No,
they're waiting to be published?
no, actually, the only thing that I have published is the Into the West Saga serial, which was a family saga Western series that was set pre-Civil War in Kansas. And it was all about the orphan train and some kids that were brought from New York City into Kansas and about the new families that they were placed with and the kind of things that happened to them in the Wild West.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds super interesting. Did you do a lot of research for that?
Oh yeah. I tried to keep it as historically accurate. I mean, I even remember I could not believe how much math was having to go into this because I was writing one book where a marshal was coming up from Texas to help his friend who is the sheriff in this Kansas town. And I had to do all this, math problems to figure out how long could a horse travel in this weather to get from this, how long would it take him to get from this place to this place going this route? It was crazy how much research I had to do for just all these little tiny things in there. Like there's a saloon in town and I had people taking their kids in there because it was also a restaurant. And that's where they would, most people would go for dinners when they were in town. And I was looking to see if they had carbonated water. Could they give kids carbonated water instead of, some of the other things that they would have there? So there was a whole lot of research going into every little detail.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't done a well, I've done one historical sort of fantasy, but when it's historical fantasy, you don't really have to have it as accurate as you do for like a Western, because people who like Westerns really like Westerns and they want it to be very accurate, I think.
They will check you fast if you you do something outrageous.
And did I see on your website that you wrote that as Stephen Burkhart? Is that correct?
Yeah, I have a very long legal name. I actually have five legal names. I have a first name that I never use for anything with work, but then it's Diane Stevens Rethemal Burkhart because whenever I got married, I wanted to take my husband's last name, but he's from Latin America and he has his mother's last name and his dad's last name. And I couldn't decide whose last name to take, so I just took them both.
Oh, okay.
So I have my original name and his last name. So I took my original last name, Stevens, and just dropped the last
Oh,
S,
okay.
and then added my legal last name, Burkhart, and created Stephen Burkhart.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's an interesting way to do that. So, and I
And if
some
you look on my
authors,
website, if you
go
look at
ahead.
my website, the photo for Stephen Burkhart is my father, whose name is Steve, who was the photo that I have on the website was him when he was my age when I wrote the books.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I was a little bit confused when I was on the website because I was like, was she ghostwriting or what is she doing here? But I know a lot of women will also sometimes use just what's the word when you use one letter? I don't know.
Oh,
Why my
initials?
mind initials, thank you. My mind is blanking. Initials so that you can't
Mhm.
really tell whether they're a woman or a man in some
Yeah.
genres. It makes it, but cool. Very cool. And so I think all those books are out, correct?
Yeah, the entire saga is complete, and the people who have read like the whole thing, they really like the way that I tied up the whole story. It comes full circle. All of the loose ends are tied up. Everybody's happy at the end. It really came out where I wanted it to.
All right. Well, happily after wholesome read. It sounds like
Yeah.
amazing. I'm picked getting like a Little House on the Prairie vibes.
hmm And one thing I do need to tell you is like it's a cliffhanger series. So each book it ends on a cliffhanger, and then the next book actually backs up a little bit and shows you that ending from a different point of view.
Oh,
And then it goes
interesting.
on from there. But luckily now, ever since all of the books are out, people don't have to wait for the answer to that cliffhanger.
Right. Okay, so it gives you an alternate view. Are the books written through the eyes of different characters, or is it third
Mhm.
person? Okay, different
So yeah,
characters.
there's several points of view.
Oh, interesting. Fun. And is it first person point of view or third person point of view then?
First person.
First person. Wow,
I
that's
remember
I
right.
think
Yeah,
that's a
look at
little,
us.
yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
not. It's third person.
third
It's
person.
third
Okay,
person.
but like third person close, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I was
It's
gonna
been
say I
so long
haven't.
since I wrote those. It's like, how did I do that?
So how did, well, I guess never mind. I answered my own question because you decided to write the paranormal mystery based on you and your friends' experiences. And it sounds like you have seven of them mapped out so far.
Mhm. Yeah. And those were the main ghost hunting trips that we had gone on. So I made one story for each one of those trips that we went on. But if this does well, my husband and I are talking about doing another seven and going to places here in Europe and basing the books on, the show does so well that they go international. And then
Oh,
we're
very
gonna
cool.
we've already found like three places that we want to go check out. One of them is the castle that Vlad the Impaler lived in.
Neat. Okay, so I have questions though about the paranormal romance. So the physicist and the ex-Navy guy, do they get together in the first book? Is it different couples in each book that kind of have the
It,
romantic interest?
yeah, it's different couples in each book.
Okay. So
Because we have
how,
like a large ghost hunting team, and then she has her friends from college too. So it's how everybody kind of finds the person that they need to complete their life.
right. Okay, fun. Yeah, that was a good idea. But they're still like filming the show at
Mhm.
each different location, correct?
Yeah.
Ah, that's a very good idea. I haven't, it's kind of like supernatural in a book, but with a bigger team, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've watched Supernatural or not, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, who hasn't the most paranormal something, right? Fun. And I see that you have a medical memoir coming out as
Mhm.
well. Tell me about that
Yeah.
one.
That one, this one was actually really surprising. I wanted to have this published in 2024 because that was the 20th anniversary of my last brain surgery. But it turned out to be so much harder to write than I thought. Because I thought, it's just my life. I have all these notebooks. I'm just going to sit there and, you know, record everything that happened to me, and add in a few personal anecdotes. It's going to be so easy. And I learned so much about myself that I either didn't really pay attention to at the time or had forgotten. Because for years, I've been telling people that I have three neurological conditions. I have a Chiari malformation, I have syringomyelia, and I have hydromyelia. And then after the first surgery, I acquired hydrocephalus. So total of four. I have seven. And I'm sitting there going through my medical records, and I'm like, wait a minute. I completely forgot about these. And then the seventh one, I was actually just diagnosed with 2 years ago. It was something that as my symptoms progress as I get older, I can acquire new things.
Oh,
And I
fun.
acquired another one. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's super interesting. Why did you decide to do it like just to like help other people, inform other people, like just share your journey?
Yeah, it's kind of a few different things because I have been doing videos on TikTok, talking about being a mutant because after the first surgery, it's like I do have a VP shunt in my head. So I've got a machine that helps my brain function. They also replaced part of my skull with tissue from a cow. So I'm part cow now. And so I tell people it's like I am a mutant. I'm part cow, part machine, and all indie author. And it's just been one of those things where there's so many things that I deal with. And when people look at me, they're like, oh, there's nothing
You
wrong with
look
you. Look at you.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and right now I have a headache that's so bad. If I was a normal person, I'd be in tears. But I'm so used to being like this that I can just kind of like push that to the side and keep functioning because I have to. Because if I didn't learn how to function this way, I wouldn't. I would just be, lying in bed all the time crying and taking pills.
Right. And that's no way to live. Yeah. I know
Mhm.
I have two friends that had not neurological conditions, but different conditions where they look, pretty normal. But
Mhm.
as, someone who knows them closely, I know that they struggle a lot. And it's so inspiring to me that they just keep fighting to have, a good quality of life and to do the things that they are passionate about and to be there for the people in their lives. And so I really think that's really cool because it's hard to see people that kind of just give up. But it would be like
Mhm.
hard emotionally and mentally, like not to give up sometimes, right?
Yeah. Well, that's like I have only within the last few years started talking about the fact that when I was going through all the brain surgeries, the pain and everything did get so bad that I did try to end my life. There was a moment that I tried to do that. And I've never talked about nobody knew I'd even done it because, obviously I failed at it and I didn't talk to anybody about it. Nobody knew until like 2 or 3 years ago. And then I finally started talking about it because we have really been focusing on my podcast a lot about mental health and about how different things can affect your mental health. And just being able to start talking about mental health is helpful.
Right.
And that's one of the things too about this book is I do have a whole chapter about, why I decided to do this, how I decided to do it, and why I was really glad that I didn't. Because one of the things is I ended up sleeping for like 18 hours because of, how I tried to do this. And when I woke up, I realized one of my biggest problems with my emotions was sleep deprivation because
Oh,
of all the pain.
interesting. Right.
And once I started realizing that was a huge problem for me, and I went to my doctor, said, "Hey, I think I need sleeping pills so I can get a good night's sleep with this." My mental health changed so much after I started getting full night's sleep. It was incredible.
Sleep can make a huge difference. I remember that from when my kids were little and just being like, oh my God, if I could just
Mhm.
sleep, then I would be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. And yeah, it does. It change if you're tired, like your whole brain chemistry is off and you can't function. So it is so cool that you have just been able to, you know, follow your passions and stay with, your podcast and your books. And like I went to your website and I'm like, what does this woman not do? It's so amazing.
Yeah, today I was trying to decide, okay, when can I need to write on the romance. When can I start setting up the magazine for this year? And I still have interviews to set up for this next month. And I'm trying to create a swag shop and design all of the things that are going go in there. And I'm creating a master media course for people who have trouble marketing their own books because I did advertising for decades. And I want to teach people how to write news releases, how to do a one sheet, how to give a good interview, how to be engaged, and just how to set up a virtual book tour with different podcasts. And I'm creating like all of these videos to teach people this stuff while doing all the books and doing the stuff for the podcast and the magazine and trying to spend some time with my husband.
I was like, and do you sleep now?
I do a little.
Fun. Well, it's so great to learn so much more about you. Um, so you said your Western series is complete now. The paranormal, when are you expecting the paranormal series to be out?
I am really hoping to have the first book out for Halloween because I thought with
Okay.
it being a ghost story, that would be the perfect time to do it.
Right. Oh, cool. Well, that will be fun. And do you have a title yet?
The first book in the series is Langston Watch Hotel, and that's, just the name of the hotel in here. And it's actually, I was really surprised. I was looking at some information today about the Eldridge Hotel that this is based on. And I don't know if I ever read this before or and forgot about it or I don't remember ever reading it. But in my story, I have a retired military man who's the Navy from the Civil War who goes back to his near his hometown in Kansas to set up a life for him and his wife and their kids, and he builds this hotel. Well, when I was looking at the website pre-Civil War, a military man, a colonel, retired from the military and went to Kansas and built this hotel.
Oh, neat.
And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, did I have that in my subconscious and that's where that came from? Or did I not know that and just that's what I came up with and it happens to be the same thing? It's like it was just really wild whenever I saw that today.
Yeah, but that would have been totally me. Like I could have researched something years ago and then just thought of it and thought, oh, I made that up, and then realized no, it was not really happened. Fun. And so you're just working on your medical memoir as well. I can see how that
Mhm.
would take a long time to do. I mean, I don't know if you know, my first series was a fictionalized account of my experience with anorexia. And
Mhm.
even like 20 years later, looking back, I discovered so many more things about myself and my experience, and I understood it better. And it was really healing as well
Mhm.
as to go back. And but so I can imagine you might have that same experience, and that it would be
Mhm.
challenging to kind of relive those times in your life.
And honestly, it's like part of this too. One of the reasons why it was so hard for me and why I took a break from writing it and started doing the romance was I still harbor a lot of anger that the accident that caused all of this happened because it was an accident at work where somebody set up a display on a broken bookshelf that was on wheels and they just propped it up on the broken wheel and they had intended to go back and fix it later, but everything got busy at work and they forgot about it. And that night it was my job to pull it in and bring it back into the store because it sat out in front of the store. And when I pulled on it, that wheel just rolled out and the whole bookshelf fell over on me. And when the assistant manager who was working with me that night called the manager at home, she said that when the manager picked up, she didn't even say hello. She said, Sherry got hurt on that bookshelf, didn't she? And it's like there was nothing, nobody ever said they were sorry.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
ever, I ended up going to the doctor, finding out that this had caused, well, they don't know if it caused the condition or if I had this condition and it made it worse. But I was like 34 and never had any problems. And then this accident happens. Suddenly I have blurred vision, slurred speech. I'm having trouble thinking. I'm having trouble walking, having trouble talking, having trouble holding on to things. And everybody's trying to deny that this had anything to do with it. It's like, okay, I was absolutely fine until this happened, and then all these problems happened.
Right.
I would think logic would dictate that
Yeah.
this is cause and effect. And nobody has ever said that they were sorry that this happened.
Oh, that's
And so
hard.
I
Okay.
really had a lot of anger for a very long time about all of this. And writing this book is just kind of like helping me get my whole story out there. This is what happened. This was the result. I still do not feel like this was right. I feel like somebody should have said that they were sorry. And that's never going to happen. So this is the way that I'm dealing with it.
Right. Yeah, you have to kind of move on from that.
Hmm.
That's so hard. Yeah, but writing paranormal mysteries is a very good distraction.
Very good.
Or paranormal romance. Sorry, romance mysteries. I will say.
So, well,
Right.
it gives me like a nice balance because I can go and write on the memoir for a while, and when it starts to get to be too much, then I go right on the romance, and it's just fun, and it takes me out of it, and then it gives me a good balance going back and forth.
Right. Yeah, I definitely understand that because even writing my fantasy, I get so like ingrained in my characters and what they're doing and their plights, and they have to, they get in peril and the antagonist is trying to kill them all the time. And I'm like, this is too heavy. I need to go write a sweet romance where, the worst thing that happens is somebody breaks up with you.
Yeah.
And that helps my psyche.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Diane, for being here. Tell us where we can find you and your books and your podcast and all the things that you do.
So, well, my podcast is actually on all the major streaming services, or you can listen to it at burkhartbooks.com, which is, there, /podcast. And You can also find our magazine on our website, just about everything you can find on our website, just burkhartbooks.com. There's the magazine, the podcast, our media marketing classes that are coming up, our swag shop, all of the books. It has 3 authors listed. I'll let you know a little secret. Whenever you look at any authors that will be on Burkhart Books, if they're black and white photos, it's a pen name.
Ah,
If it's
okay.
a color photo, it's an actual author.
Oh, okay. Because
So the
I was
two,
there and I was like, wow, there's 3 authors here. Huh.
so the 2 black and white photos are my pen names. And yeah, I mean, you can find all the books at on Amazon. And I'm hoping to actually switch over to something else and get a little bit more away from Amazon. We're actually looking at creating an app where people can download and buy my ebooks straight from me and just read them all in the app.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. That's fun.
I have to keep finding new projects because I'm not busy enough.
The sleep thing, right?
Yeah,
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, Diane. And I'll look forward to talking to you when you release your next book.
that would be so great.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Finding the Magic podcast. I'm your host, author and podcaster Tricia Copeland, and I love getting behind the scenes. If you like the podcast, make sure to subscribe and stop in each week to discover new authors and books. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep finding the magic.